City Gates is a concept, an idea that helps church planters know where to begin getting to know their city. City Gates are avenues that you can get to know your city that exist in almost every city. It comes from the concept in the Old Testament where the elders would usually gather at the literal city gates to do business and make decisions. And today we're using that concept to describe avenues that church planters can enter into and get to know their city, both personally and structurally. So we've identified 4 to 6 different city gates that will exist in almost every city. And those 6 city gates are education, recreation, government, commerce, the arts, and nonprofits. Now, there's lots of other ways to get connected to a city, affinity groups and meetups and things like that. But these 6 usually exist in almost every city. When I was planting a church in Oregon, we wanted to connect more fully in the city that we were part of. And we were across the street from an elementary school, so it just made sense for us to connect there. I set up a meeting with the principal, and it turned out that he was a Christian who was very committed to his faith and was excited to partner with us as a church. As it turned out, we talked about some of the needs in the school, and they had had an after-school club which had been shut down the year before due to a lack of funding. We said, what if we brought this after-school club back and staffed it? And he said, that'd be great. So our church and another church partnered together to recruit mentors who would come and read with and do homework with kids at that school once a week. So it was a way for us to be invested in those children and to get to know the teachers who appreciated our presence so much. That story is very typical of the ways in which church plants can enter into one of the city gates. In this case, it was education. So church plants often meet in schools, and schools are one of the most natural partners to work with. But there's lots of opportunities in these other arenas, like commerce, for instance. My friend Kevin started a coffee shop called Symposium. And through that process, he got to know lots of people in the Chamber of Commerce because he was a business owner too, and that became a natural bridge. And Chamber of Commerce meetings are a great way to get to know the needs and concerns of the businesses in your city and to say what businesses are coming in town and what needs are they meeting. Or recreation, that's another great way to plug into a community. It could be the youth sports leagues, it could be the YMCA, it could be all different forms of parks and recreation activities that are happening in your community. I know of one planter in Oregon who was an athlete himself, and his kids were all athletes, so they were really involved in the youth sports leagues. He coached a bunch of different teams, and through the network of relationships they built there, that church became like the default place that most new families in that city visited. So they established their presence really through recreation. Government is another great place. Every city will have different committees usually that citizens can be involved in. It might be city planning, it could be parks and rec, it could be policy decisions, but that's another way to really serve and get to know the needs of a community. The arts are always a bridge between the church and the culture, and so getting to know some of the local performing arts organizations can be a way to invest in the community and to use the gifts of people in the church plant. And then nonprofits serve lots of other needs that churches can get behind as well. So these city gates provide an opportunity to connect with relationally, but also serve and volunteer in structurally for the church plant. There's lots of other ways to connect with a city. My friend Becky goes to a wine club inner city and a newcomers club and a running club. And all 3 of those clubs are ways, they're affinity groups where her personal interests are ways to connect with unbelievers in her city. But city gates, because they exist in every city, they create an opportunity for church planters to know about and invest in their city and to seek its welfare. And so may God open up avenues through these city gates for you and the community that you're planting in.